Hello fellow TIs and YouTube viewers. I want to share something interesting that's going to help people understand the reasons why we had that Orlando mass shooting at the Pulse nightclub in Orlando. Also about the Baton Rouge shooter and Myron May. See, what happens is that once you are targeted through an agency, your information is passed on to neighborhood watch groups under public health and safety codes. These neighborhood watch groups and police have an agreement. They have a pact with each other, and a lot of times some of these stakeholders and nonprofit groups that are involved in community policing share your information and maybe even be shared through FEMA's Incident Command Center. They have like their own database of information. So a lot of times information is being shared with people that really shouldn't be shared, because a lot of times you have people that maybe they went through a dramatic or a traumatic event. They're going to counseling, and what happens is that any time you get the community involved in rehabilitating people, it causes more problems, because these people in community watch groups, they're never going to talk to you. They're never going to communicate with you and see how they can help you. Their thing is how they can pester you. Because if I don't know who you are and you're constantly following me around, how would you feel if you're in my shoes? Someone's following you around, you have no drug, sex, or violence charges, you haven't owned a weapon in 20 years when you legally can own one, and you're consistently complaining to law enforcement about the gang stalking. And then when you go to a police station like I did in the downtown area of Boston, the first time I did it, they didn't want to take the complaint. The car was outside, the people were stalking me, and they did not want to make a report. The guy was like, I don't want to get involved in it. So I recorded all this. I have DVR sunglasses. You can actually look at my other videos that talk about it. And I recorded the whole entire conversation because we talked in a public area. He refused to help me. I have the date and time, even my parking ticket. So I know the time that it happened. Everything's recorded. This is all documented evidence. I've talked to the people at the city. I've talked to police officers, and they've denied it. And then later on, I find out that Citizens Corps is involved with police. Their SARA model, which the COPS program uses, is highly dangerous. I wouldn't be surprised if the FBI, InfraGard, and all these people are using the SARA model, which involves systematically following and harassing people. Because if I don't know who you are, you're systematically following me. Like at 6 in the morning, and in traffic in Austin, it could be hundreds of thousands of cars on the road. And then I see you're following me for 12 miles straight. And then you follow me again at 5 o'clock in a remote area in the outskirts of Austin for miles, and you're shaking your head, you're pointing at me with your finger, doing crazy stuff, and I'm recording you. You're tagging everything. What's the coincidence of this? The probability of an event makes it impossible for a city of this magnitude to have someone follow you all day in the morning and then all day at night. It's impossible for that to be a coincidence. And it's impossible for you to have numerous encounters with a bunch of white vehicles surrounding your vehicle numerous times. Like, I haven't even shared all the tags that I have that I've recorded where I'm like swarmed with white cars. It's ridiculous. Now, I was reading here from this Feminist Majority Foundation and the National Center for Women in Policing. It says the LAPD had a male clandestine organization called Men Against Women. The acronym is MAW. And they were involved in harassment and intimidation of women in the police force. Now, I have no ties to feminists. I don't even really agree with a lot of things that feminists believe in, but I do support women having equal rights, equal pay for equal work, of course. And started to see that even the feminists know about what's going on. And this is all tied to public safety. So the FBI, they have an Office of Partner Engagement. The Homeland Security, U.S. Department of Justice, the U.S. Army, HHS, the U.S. Air Force, Navy, Freemasons, Citizens Corps, block watch groups. I mean, the list, even churches are involved, schools, Businesses, even a lot of major corporations have people that are involved in community engagement. Some corporations have someone that's like a director of community engagement. So what's going on is that you are being followed a lot of times by government agencies, and then if they feel like they can't get even with you and drive you crazy and have you killed or whatever, they will utilize these groups within the community to systematically follow and harass people. When you look at stuff like the symbol of CERT, it means Community Emergency Response Team. These people are also involved in community watch groups. And it says right here, citizens volunteers are extremely important to the police department. The Citizens on Patrol volunteers work on a rotating basis to patrol neighborhoods and assist in different stuff. Let me keep going on here. Then I was reading there's another group they're called, I guess, the Capital Area Council of Governments. I guess they're under Citizens Corps, like a regional council group under FEMA. It's packed full of judges, city council mayors, commissioners, state representatives. I mean, it's massive. Let's go on to this paper right here. It says right here, the district representatives are called upon to do a lot of activities which include but are not limited to enhancing patrol efforts, attending neighborhood associations, blah, 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 okay, assisting the community in solving non-emergency problems and helping the community to become self-reliant. So what this means is that they are depending upon neighbors to do the work of law enforcement. Now, neighborhood watch is supposed to be non-confrontational. Excuse me. And what is happening is that it's really not the case. I've experienced the same harassment in Florida, New Mexico, Texas, and the people all wear black clothes as a way of indicating that they're involved in a group. They systematically follow, harass, and make people feel unsafe in the community. And even the APD has two-way communication between the public to give them information on health and safety alerts. And we read this part here. This is a grant. It's a Homeland Security grant. So I'm assuming, yeah, Homeland Security is giving money to public, let me see, where is it at? HHS, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Office of Minority Health, U.S. Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Policing. And what is happening is that minorities are even being targeted in our schools and in our communities. I watched videos on community-oriented policing, and it's horrible what is going on in America. What we're doing is that once someone gets a bad diagnosis, maybe experienced a traumatic event, maybe got back from war, seen people die, and is emotionally distraught, or perhaps they're experiencing harassment through an agency, and then when they go to a psychiatrist, they tell the person you're schizophrenic, when really the person is not. So I cannot show a psychiatrist all my videos. It's so much. But I have talked to people, FBI agents, police officers, and they've all stated that you are targeted. You are a targeted individual. This is coming from the lips of police officers, FBI agents, people within our government, even people that work in the U.S. Air Force, people that I've talked to. When I show them the information, they're like, you're a targeted individual. You are targeted. You may want to leave the country. Someone's trying to destroy you. And what I find interesting is that a huge portion of these attacks are coming from feminists with real short hair, and I'm taking pictures of all these people, and I'm seeing it's a similar pattern of harassment. I'm getting their tags in different parts of town, and I'm seeing a pattern of information sharing and the agencies they belong to. Unfortunately, I'm not going to share all this information on all the organizations they belong to, because I'm kind of hoping it tones down, because I would like to stay here, but if it gets out of hand, there's going to be some people getting some complaints sent straight from the police where we start having court dates, because I don't like being terrorized. I don't like being harassed. And I will even put these papers where I call in neighborhood watch groups and different people and shock these people. Because see, what I do is I look at their affiliations, secret societies, their names on neighborhood watch group sites, and then I do research on their tags and I contact people. And I'm like, okay, what's the similarities of these different groups? Why are they wearing certain colors? Why have I had people tell me in these areas they're working for police, but they're not going to mention who they're working for at times? So I started to put two and two together. The U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force, all these different agencies, COPS, Citizens Corps, their activities are good if it's to remove someone from the community that is dangerous, but not to remove someone that's a whistleblower or that's going to school to improve their life and even moving out of state to attend a school so they can make a decent wage, but instead they're harassed with weapons, death threats, threats of bombings. I mean, the list goes on. So this gang stalking is being perpetrated, is being done by people a lot of times that are part of universities, secret societies, dominion, they believe in dominion theology, part of different government agencies. This is having an effect even in kids in our schools, where we have kids that are involved in these programs. A lot of times they're sworn to secrecy. They're involved in secret societies. There's secret societies even for kids. So for them, revealing who they work for, what they do, would like betray the trust of the people they are a part of, their networks. And in their minds, they feel like they're doing a service to America. Sometimes I've actually thrown up when I see these people wearing American shirts, carrying American bags, but they're attacking my computers. They're following me systematically. They're harassing me and trying to make me feel uncomfortable where I live. Now, let me see. To notice these gang stalkers, you want to see a similar pattern of like maybe clothing, earplugs, certain color cars. You want to look at times, even if you see badges, like a car, one of these electronic cards that hang from like their mirror inside their car. I try to zoom in and try to show a similar pattern of harassment and try to get their organizational cards that are hanging from their review mirrors. Sometimes I don't get in their cars, but I'll get close to the window, and if I see certain symbols on papers and stuff like that, U.S. Army, whatever, eagle symbols, or whatever, I take a picture of it because I want to show a similar pattern of harassment and be able to link these people to domestic terrorism if they do not stop, and be able to talk to people and say, look, Your Honor, the activities these people are doing are linked 100% to domestic terrorism, and here are all the case codes. Here are all the psychological reports that I have pulled up that shows that this activity, according to the Department of Justice and other top psychiatrists in this nation, proves that these activities lead to suicides, shootings, so these people are actually involved in domestic terrorism. Because it's against the law to harass communities of people or even a single person that's non-combatant citizen that's not a part of no groups, it's not a part of gang stalking, chemtrailing, harassing people. I don't harass people. So I hope this information helps people. After seeing suicides, I've actually witnessed suicides by people. I've actually known people that have been hurt by this gang stalking, like Myra May. And what they do is they first systematically follow and harass you, so that way you go to a psychiatrist, and then from there you get targeted even more, because first of all they have you labeled as a loony, you're delusional, when really you're not, and a lot of times they don't want to see the information that you have because they're going to say, okay, this person's crazy. But then when if you were to show them all the background, like all the private investigative reports and stuff, they're like, oh, holy crap, what's the coincidence of a private investigator proving that this person's being followed, or that this person has ties to Citizens Corps, and this person has already made complaints to the Department of Homeland Security 4 times about it, and it's still going on. So you want to have stuff like that. Now, stakeholders are people who have or think they had a personal interest in the outcome of a policy. Community stakeholders, groups, can be divided in 3 different categories: social groups, economic groups, and political groups. This comes from my FEMA, Emergency Management Stakeholders information about their stakeholders, and so they have people from different nonprofits, different groups. They're probably living in your area. Could be working for HSS, DHS, the FBI, maybe National Guard, U.S. Army, a radical feminist group, a satanic group, a church. So you have all these people, and they have their own problems, their own issues, and you're being singled out as a problem. So the only way they can get your attention is by letting you see their cars, being followed by a bunch of white cars, being dressed in a bunch of black, wearing a bunch of black clothing, hoods on, 140-degree heat. They want to intimidate. They want to harass. They want to make you homeless. They want you to snap. So they're doing all these illegal activities to promote terrorism in our country. So it's leading to mass shootings in our schools, our colleges, all over the United States. And it's being done in a covert manner. And these people will not expose it because then they know that they'll be targeted too. That wherever they go, they'll be targeted. So a lot of times this is happening on a city level. And I know people that used to work for the Department of Defense, different agencies that are they're monitoring databases, they're looking to see what's going on. They're seeing that I'm on a no list within the government. So it appears that a lot of this is being done on a city level. After writing a letter to the governor, town manager, city mayor, talking to the city council on TV, I realized that they don't care. I haven't gotten one reply back. I know that I have the exact date on video. I showed when I dropped the letters off, recorded everything when I was at the post office. So it's been many months, no replies. I shared information about what these people do, and I realized after doing research, Department of Public Safety, Citizens Corps, I started seeing that a lot of these people are actually stakeholders to these groups. They're actually connected to these groups, so they're not going to want to write a letter that confirms your harassment or supports you, because these groups are into making sure that people are isolated, they're not experiencing social inclusion, financial stability, because they want to harass you. How can you function right when you're being systematically harassed? I have videos where every time I come to my house, this lady downstairs was coming outside wearing all black clothing. That when I come back from a doctor's appointment, I have someone walking by my house. Only when I get back from a doctor's office and once I go outside. I have videos that show neighbors acting very weird with me, where it can be 104 degrees and they throw on a hood once they pass by me, repeatedly, over and over and over again. Kids, people, spitting towards me, damage to my vehicles, house break-ins in places that I've never had them. So what's the coincidence that I have a tremendous amount of proof? I'm not even sharing on YouTube because I'm trying to live here. I want to be able to live in harmony. I want to be able to live a harassment-free life without going to another country and saying, look, this is what I have. And this is, I got information on agencies here that show them harassing me, and this is where they work. This is the video proof, and I'm just trying to live here. I'm not trying to take them to court when I could. That way these governments can see, like, hey, this person's not a bad guy. He could be taking these people to court, but instead he prefers to just be poor, go to school, and live a normal life, to live a harassment-free life, and he's willing to come to another government for help. Sometimes it may take people to do that, stuff like that. But I encourage target individuals to stick it out and realize you have a right to live here. You have a right to live a harassment-free life. And that community-oriented policing towards adults especially is a extreme public health and safety issue that almost guarantees, it's almost guaranteed to lead to shootings in our country. It's almost guaranteed to lead to shootings in cities all across America. And the reason why I say this is because Department of Justice has a site that talks about stalking and the effects of it. And it clearly states that when people are stalked, it causes mental problems, it causes people to become hostile, it causes people to live in fear, it causes people to be socially isolated. And it's a long list of things that damage that it does to a person. So people that are involved in harassing people are bad people. It's one thing to use one person to place someone under surveillance, but it's another thing to have 30 or 40 neighbors in the street follow you in supermarkets and harass you. And then when you confront them, even tell you, like, hey, the police are the ones that are doing this. They're the ones telling us to do this. Or my agency, wants us to follow you. And that's what I'm finding out is my issue. So the way that I am now is the way that I always am. I'm not shaking, and there's no facial twitches. I don't have split personalities. I'm someone that has an enormous stack of certifications, a tremendous amount of education and skills, and that's just trying to live here. I just like to go to work, rent, and date. But because of the harassment, it's putting me in a situation where I can't do anything human. Okay, I'm experiencing more strange stuff online. Check this out. It says there are comments awaiting approval. Now check this out. If I try to approve these comments, look, they have it where there's no way. It's like faded out. I'm using a new computer and I can't approve the comments. There's no way. Sometimes if I refresh the page, I have JavaScript, everything is enabled according to Google's policies. And then look, I refreshed it, I can't approve the comment or anything. And then look what it says, held for review. But no comments are there. Likely spam. Only 2 comments. Let's scroll down. So my comments are being censored. I can't approve this guy. I tried this on another computer and a tablet. Well, let's go into community settings. And let's see what my settings, they should be auto approve. All my settings should have, my comments, allow comments. See? Comments on your new videos, allow all comments. Comments on your channel, allow all comments. Creator credits on your channel, hold all creator credits for a review. So these are not people that are editing my video, that's what it's for. But for my videos, comments, allow all comments. Allow all comments. So, what's going on here? I have this guy right here, his comments are being censored. I have this lady right here, her comments are being censored. So there's censorship going on here. Look at held for review. So this means that I could have news agencies, people that want to talk to me, and my comments are being censored. Look, I can't do anything. Look how the buttons are. This is on computer after computer. See, look, if I click approve, I can't. Let's try to refresh the page again. I've done this on different computers and just nothing works. So look, if you were to do this on your computer, you would see this more brighter. It would look like this, where you can just click it and that's it. So I don't know what's going on here.